Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys can see me already. But damn, for all those that are watching this stream as a video afterwards, it's been a crazy night, all right? Not had much sleep. I have a generational long open, and we'll talk about my trade ever so slightly, but more importantly, we'll talk about what we think is happening right now and what our reactions are. Because, first of all, it's been one of the most profitable days in my entire career. Today, that is. Yesterday was one of the worst, but today is one of the most profitable ever. But more importantly, I'm quite confused as to how much altcoins are pumping. Like, Bitcoin is back above 61,000, but some altcoins are up double digits again after such a bad day, which leads me to believe perhaps it's like I said a little bit earlier, which is the whole story about Ethereum taking over. Anyway, the other nomads in the chat saying Crypto News Network with your host Dusty. Crypto News? I don't know. 𝗕𝗏𝗲𝗏 says, what's going on? We'll talk about what's going on. 𝗕𝗏𝗲 says, hi Dusty. Hey, what's up, man? Thank you for joining in. If you guys are seeing this, just say yes, say hi or some. We're just starting to stream up. We just started a minute ago. I always take like a minute or two to get people acquainted before we start talking about what's really going on. But generally speaking, just to catch everybody on the, or get everybody up to speed, it's been a really good day. Surprisingly so. Quite a good day. We'll talk about it though. We'll talk about it. Just quickly waiting for a couple of people to hop on in. And if you guys have not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. We've got 20 likes, but let's get that up to, if you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button. You've got absolutely nothing to lose, and it's very much appreciated. Adonique says, we hear you, dude. All right, so where everybody's watching from? Always just, when you join a stream, the first thing I always ask is where y'all watching from. And let me just quickly grab a few things here, and then we shall get started. So it's taking about, I'm going to say 30 seconds, and then we'll start about talking what's going on. You understand what I mean? All right. Because I think we'll start with these three things. Yeah, okay, sure. I've got an idea. So the reason I'm saying that, by the way, is because I've got so much stuff to cover. It's always hard to find the right angle to start off with. But I think here's a good way to start. So first of all, most interesting out of everything is how the Bitcoin price has been moving. I think every single one of you has seen prices crumble down. Many of you were scared. And I'll tell you one thing. We're not safe. I'm one of the first ones to tell you, we're not in the clear. It's not safe for people to rejoice and be happy. However, altcoins are looking as if things are safe again, right? With some altcoins doing some crazy numbers over the past couple of hours. Fetch is up 20% almost in a day. Ava's up 50%. Pepe's up 12%. Stacks up 11%. Brat 21. Whiff 17. Pretty crazy numbers if you ask me. However, just like I established yesterday in our update video, it's not in the clear, mostly because, well, what happened back here, right? We had ourselves some retests of this area. Multiple times we got there and shot right back up multiple times. But I will make clear that we could have a similar rally to what we saw right here. So even though prices recovered, since they did not go past, or I guess past, who cares past? I guess, but since they did not go back, or perhaps not go back to 72, we might actually see the price break down and potentially go back towards this 56 or something like that thousand. I am preparing for it, even though I see the chance as smaller than recovering, which is why I have a generational long open. And when I say generational long, what that means is I've put so much more money on the line than I think most people would deem legal. I'm talking not legal in terms of, oh, that's illegal. I'm just talking about what people would think is smart to do. Let me just quickly see if I can find my Telegram on the online version. Quickly see if I can find it. Preview. Here we go. I can. So I've been sharing some of my trading updates since like last night because it's been hectic, all right? And when I say it's been hectic, I mostly mean that usually I have very safe positions open. But since the price dropped so much in such a short amount of time, I went a little bit cuckoo on this one. A little bit more hefty than I usually do it. So I quickly shared the situation yesterday about Mt. Gox and them distributing, etc., etc. But all of a sudden, all right, I noticed since, because at the point when I shared this, by the way, over on Twitter, I saw the price of Bitcoin at what, 62 point something thousand, and I didn't really think it was a smart idea to short because I expected people to already think, it's already priced in. But then the price came crumbling down so hard, and you guys all know my strategy, which is just buy your way down lower. It's always kind of the same. For all of you who don't check Twitter as often, Mt. Gox distributing 9 billion next month, so it's, pretty heavy. Call me a maniac. This is hours later, but I'm DCAing my positions, and just for fun, I think this is the right time zone. Just for fun, to put into perspective, let's quickly see. So, let's do a 15-minute chart. When I started, when the news dropped, I think it was like 11, so it was right around here. Because I think it was 62.4 or whatever that I could have shorted at. So maybe this is where I saw the news. Let's quickly see over on my Twitter. I can find it. Because I've also been kind of putting some funny stuff over on Twitter. Here we go. So it was 10:52, and I saw it 1 or 2 minutes before that. So let's say 10:50 is when I thought, should I go short? And I was like, let's not do that. So that could have been right here at $62.75 thousand. You can't see, but that's the price that it's at right there. Here you go. So right there I could have. But again, I'm also not a perfect human being, and I didn't because I was like, I don't think people are going to see this as such a heavy thing. Well, turned out it was a really heavy thing, and all of a sudden I had to pivot. Instead of having a short open, I now had to compensate by opening long after long after long, and at like 7 here, so right here, I noticed, we're down so much from almost 63 to below 60,000. Now, I'm going to have to make a choice. And I basically went along the lines of, I'm all in. And not like I'm pulling all my money in, but I'm going for this drop. And so I started locking in, started buying, as you can see right here. I started trying to basically catch myself that dip. Oh, what a night. And we got as low as 59 point something. A little bit later, the price went to 58.3 or 58.2, something like that. I just said, this is my strategy. Have a shitty opening because my price was whack. And then I was already cooked from the start. I think the first buy that I did was so high that it was not amazing. But just set like 15 orders all the way down. I think it's nice to have it all the way up to like 44, or I should say down. Convert trade from isolated to cross. And what this basically means is at first I thought, let's try catch a swing and have managed risk. But then it turned into you know what? I don't know how far Bitcoin's going to drop. I'm going to keep this one open until it turns back around because I've read the case studies. I've explained to you guys multiple times before that regardless of how low the price goes, there's always a bounce so huge that if you DCA properly, you're able to make money on that way up. And right here again, if you are consistent and follow this exact path that I laid out, which by the way was hours before the price dropped even more, when people got scared, what you just do is you just keep on buying, and then on that wave upwards, right now the price is up like 5% from the bottom, you make the gains. And again, my personal price ended up being on one of my longs, I think 58.7, because I went as heavy as possible on the lower echelons, but on the other, it's significantly higher. But even if your average price right now is 60.5 or 61,000, theoretically speaking, from there, you could have been in profit right now. But even if you're not just quite yet, that just means you have to set yourself up with further deeper orders to buy dips so you can catch on, like here, this 5% move upwards. That's always the goal. Your goal is not to catch the generational long that lasts you into the 90s. It's the goal to just buy, and not be underwater on your initial buy. At least that's my personal perspective on these things. But yeah, then I said, hey, an interesting thing which you could actually try is try to have a short open every time we get slightly above 60 and try to basically buy back in at 59. First of all, you can kind of keep both positions open at the same time for a little bit. But most importantly, because we actually kept bouncing at 59, I think this trade could have netted you a ton of profit for like the next few hours if you were consistent with it. But obviously those things are scary. But it could have worked out. And in hindsight, both of them would have worked out. You could have kept your short open until a massive break below. And even if you did not close it, then right now your long would have actually sufficed to be back in profit. And your short could then still be kept open as a hedge, theoretically speaking. Anyway, a little bit later, I said, you know what? We've also got ourselves the Ethereum ETF situation coming up over the next few days, most likely. And what that means is if we get ourselves the S1 approvals, which could come as early as next week, probably the narrative is going to shift from Bitcoin to Ethereum. And let me quickly show you this along the lines of a Bitcoin Ethereum chart. Throughout the last night, Bitcoin versus, sorry, I should say it the other way around. Ethereum versus Bitcoin was doing pretty well for a long one. Now, in this case here, it's actually quite the opposite that showcases itself, because I usually like to show ETH Bitcoin, not Bitcoin ETH. But that last night was having a pretty interesting field day, going up massive amounts throughout those hours. And I'm going to say that perhaps my theory from before is true, where right now they're focusing on making you fearful. Again, I just kept buying my way down lower. It was it was not looking good. I thought, you know what if I wake up at like 40,000? With the idea in mind, though, that because ETH is doing so well, perhaps they're dumping Bitcoin right now pretty hard to basically go full on Ethereum and go pretty hard on that move once the Ethereum ETFs come along. Again, it just kept on buying the way down lower. Sometimes in the comment section, I see people saying, or even in Telegram, like, oh, you only share these things afterwards. But please understand that, first of all, I'm no guru. I don't know what's going to happen next. And as you can hopefully see from the way I've made these texts here, it is a risky strategy because you might be underwater for a long while. Now, in hindsight, was it easy? Yes, it was very easy. Because if you just always buy the dip, it's so freaking hard to lose. But at the end of the day, you need to have the stomach for it. Because even I, sometimes, I get kind of scared, right? Because when the price come down so low and you see all of a sudden, let's say you had $1 million position, right? You're feeling comfortable, feeling good. That's your initial. Now you all of a sudden have to double it up, triple it up. Now all of a sudden, instead of just having a comfortable $1 million position, this is after leverage, so that could be $100,000 that you put in. Now all of a sudden, there might be $400,000 in, so a $4 million position. Just think of the numbers. You can put whatever number you want. You can put $400 there for all I care. And it just gets, I guess, scarier the more money that's in it. You know, if you go above your normal trading range, especially if you're trying to catch a generational long the way I've gone for it. Now, I will remind you that nothing that we're seeing here, a lot of you guys are seeing your portfolio dropping, right? Just a quick question. Which one of you has looked at your portfolio and thought, damn, that's not looking good? I have. But I do remember that if we look back at 2021, all these losses ain't nothing to what we saw back then. Pepper shared, a lot of people really weren't here for May of 2021. Factory Doge asked, so was this that bad? And Will shared, no, it was way worse. You know why? Because the amount of losses that all these altcoins and crypto made over the whole market was just so insane. Bitcoin dropped by $10,000 in like a few hours, 25%. BNB dropped by like 50%. Polkadot dropped 50%. Ethereum dropped 40% in a day. Uniswap 51% down. Some altcoins were down 80% in a day. That, ladies and gentlemen, is bear market vibes. Whatever we're seeing here is kind of annoying, you know, piece of shit Bitcoin, but it's not that bad, really. And that's why I'm like, oh, actually our strategy of just buying our way down lower is not as tough as it usually is when the sentiment really shifts over. No, it's actually, matter of fact, quite easy, but you don't know that up front. We only know that in hindsight, but that's why I'm buying like a freaking maniac, and why the next time this happens, I'll do the same, because I did the exact same thing. I'll show you. I did the exact same thing. Where is it now? Let me quickly find a 12-hour. I did the exact same thing all the way back here in the beginning of May. I think we also said it in a video. I said, if we go towards 60,000, I'm buying like crazy. And at that point, price went lower and lower and lower. And you see, guys, if you guys were just not every single one of you, but some of them, were just not as scared, you could have made yourself 27% gains on this catch upwards. And 27% times the 10x leverage or 17x leverage, which I often use. This means that we got 270% profit on whatever money we put in. So let's say we put in $100,000, which is a normal, let's say, I don't know how many, okay, it's hard to say what a normal average trade would be, but I'm thinking many people put up 10K times 10, 100K position. In that case here, 27% up, $27,000 on our 10K. Could have been pretty crazy. And it makes you realize. A matter of fact, let me quickly see if I have one open still. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I have this account on this computer. I must have it. I want to show you one more trade, just for fun. Did I open anything? No, I did not. So here's one of the accounts where I didn't, because I didn't log in. What a stupid ass I am. But here's one of the accounts that I showed you guys before, right? This position we've kept open for many months. And I will remind you that this is basically the case study I provided along the lines of if you just keep buying your way down lower, let's say you started right there, and you just keep buying your way down lower and lower and lower, and all of a sudden our average price is what? 28,000, because we kept on buying all the way from November 2021, from the highest of the high, all the way down lower towards the bottoms in 2022. And our average price is now 28,000, which again is double from the bottom of 15,000. Then right now, that position would be in, if you only put in how much? $1,300. It would still be in $15,000 worth of profit. So again, it might have been annoying, but if we started there with $100, kept adding hundreds of dollars more for, I'm going to say about a year, then about a year later, because at the start you'd have negative funding rates, it would pay for you. The only time you'd have to pay for funding rates, which is what these realized P&Ls are coming from, is this area. But that's also literally what I've done here. So you can see the cost of keeping the position open for multiple months, but it's been worth it. And I think the same applies here. It's only a matter of being able to stomach those months. If I'm wrong, please do let me know, but that's literally my conviction. Anyway, I've been opening some Ethereum positions as well because I believe there might be a shift here. There might be a shift from Bitcoin being the most interesting to Ethereum being the most interesting because there was so much fear on Bitcoin, yet all the eyes on the good announcements are on Ethereum for what's going to happen next, like the Ethereum ETFs. All right, so let me quickly show you what I wanted to show. Quickly grab them open. So, as I said before, one of the most interesting things was the fact that right now we're forming a little McDonald's pattern, but more importantly, that we are at the make or break moment. This is literally where either everything starts popping because people got shaken out, leverage, boom, thrown at the window, shorts liquidated, people wrecked, or this is where things do start to get kind of more nasty for a little bit. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen next, ladies and gentlemen. I do not claim to know. All I know is whatever happens, I've got a good, pretty solid plan to make profit on whatever happens. And I cannot show that. I hope nobody saw that. Shit. I think we're good. I don't think nobody realized what it was. Anyway, so at the same time though, we're just talking about the whole 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗃 situation with all the bad news. You know that's not the only thing, right? You know that actually freaking Germany, and it kind of sounds maybe strange, but that the German government, Federal Criminal Police Office, BKA, transferred 400 Bitcoin to a centralized exchange 20 minutes ago. They still have 2.8 billion. You know that these guys, even though they're selling very minimum amounts, all of a sudden are also trying to push us towards the freaking ground. I don't know why the German government doesn't want to see us have good days, but yeah, this is shared earlier this morning. I will say I'm not too familiar with this news source, but one of the best traders I know in the world follows it, so I'm believing it's true as of this point. Again, not much selling pressure at all, ladies and gentlemen. 400 Bitcoin is nothing, right? It doesn't matter. But what have we ever done to Germany and make them this mad? Huh? Oh, it's interesting. Anyway, so two more things. KSI. If you don't know, you don't know. But he said, just imagine the smell when people realize the bottom isn't in. I will warn people that things can't get a lot more bloody from here. It's just a simple warning that I want to put out there. That, things might get slightly worse before they get better. And man, I'm not sure if you guys have been on Twitter, but the only thing I keep seeing all day is more and more of these mainstream influencers promoting freaking scams. I'm talking about scams of scams of scams on Solana. Like Amber Rose here coming up with what meme coin should I be buying on Solana? Amber Rose is a serial crypto scammer and has promoted many crypto pumps and dumps in the past. Users are recommended to advise caution, yada, yada, yada. That's because Zach said, remember the endless list of crypto scams used to promote on X and Instagram that were all deleted? Because all of a sudden, it's like the next freaking trend. I saw Jason Derulo, I saw a lot of others, a lot of other main like influencers, I guess, in the traditional space, all of a sudden flock to crypto yet again. And it's very, very peculiar. It's very, very interesting the way that these guys are moving like sneaky rats to our industry to wreck us all. Anyway, I want to quickly know from the chat if you guys are all in here still. Just quickly say yeah if you're still watching this. Bitcoin is really being a piece of crap right now. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, my friend. Which one of you guys are still here? We've got ourselves 50 likes. Guys, if you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button. Why not? We got Pablo. We got Adanik. We got Nico. Hey, what's up, Nico? We got 𝗕𝗪𝗓𝗂𝗏. All right, so we got a little crew. It's not too crowded today. Maybe it's about the time of the day. Yeah, the rain. Yeah, in the rain. You're watching this in the rain? Dennis. We got bullish reset. That's nice, nice, nice. I want to know from you guys real quick if you think that altcoins are going to start blasting, or if this is where Bitcoin actually makes a little trap and starts falling down lower. What do you guys think? Let me just make a poll. Blasting being obviously upside, nuke obviously being, you know, downside. I put a poll in the chat box. So you can press and, you know, put up your predictions. And whoever was right, I don't know. You're pretty cool. You know, whoever is right deserves the world. Tifa says funny because Ballst. Wait a minute. I thought nobody saw that. That's exactly how it feels to be in crypto. I disagree, my friend. Once more, I'll tell you right now, if you're playing the game smart, and I've been explaining to you guys how to play this game, I don't think anybody who watches my channel can end up not doing good. So if you feel as if your balls are being freaking, you know, being destroyed, you might want to rethink some strategies, especially because of how the next few months are going to look. I personally think, even though we don't know if this is, you know, the dip is in, that if we prepare ourselves properly right now by, like I've been saying before, applying the strategies which we've been able to think about for multiple months, how can this go wrong? And I've been thinking about it for a while. I don't know any different way, any way in which we cannot come out victorious, especially because we've got each other. And that might sound a little bit suspicious. All right. I'm not nothing crazy meant, but I meant we've got each other to kind of keep everybody level headed. If my thoughts here are like grade A stupid, I really wish you guys to tell me. I've had a call this morning, early in the freaking morning, because the guy is in Asia. He wants to call, or I guess Australia even. So he wants to call at an ungodly hour. I don't know who does that, but hey, you know, people in Australia, you guys are weird, man. I don't know how you work with the rest of the world. I really don't understand that. But I had a call, and it was mostly just to keep me level-headed. Because the strategies which I've explained here, and what I'm saying kind of now as well, I don't know how people cannot turn whatever money they have into crazy sums of money in the span of 1 year. I'm talking about at least a 25x or so in a year, almost guaranteed. And nobody I've been able to speak to says, oh, this or that, or that's kind of against it. You might say, oh, it's too manipulated. As long as you're not, okay, let's say we've got a $1,000 position. Your bankroll needs to be a lot higher because obviously you need to have enough to cover the entire position in case things go wrong, which is why the bad part is about there. I'll cover it later. I'll cover it later. What I mean exactly with our 1 year and whatever positions. Anyway, any altcoins you guys are interested in right now? Because for me, it seems like every altcoin is in the gutter. Somebody says LAI, so Layer AI. Yeah, I have it still. I think the value has gone 80% down. So I'm not too happy with it. That's for sure. But so is every AI coin that I once was really excited about. They're all kind of garbage right now, my friends. ICP, not a big fan of necessarily. Pendle is really nice. Okay, talk about it. Solana $1,000 this cycle. I think Solana $1,000 is not too crazy. If you guys remember, but again, this is not a discussion that we usually have on a bearish market week. But if we're taking a look at the top of the top cryptos, and we realize Ethereum was another 30% higher or so. If you take a look at the market cap and we add a 30%, let's say 100 billion on top, right? And we establish this is 500 billion. Solana right now at 60 billion, going to 1,000 is, let's say, times, how much are we going to put it? 7.5 times 8. If we're just being slightly conservative and saying, you know what, 60 billion times 8 for ourselves, putting us at 480 billion. That would then be right now slightly less than Ethereum's all-time high. But even Ethereum, I think, in 3 times from its all-time high, going from whatever, let's call it 5,000 to 15,000, perhaps even $20,000 to cycle. And if that does, then it's not too crazy to consider Solana at the old Ethereum high levels, right? Or if we are being a little bit conservative and we're saying, you know what, Solana times 6 from here, putting it at roughly 360, times 6.5 from here, 6.5, almost 7. You know, putting it at whatever, $700, $800, let's say. That's Ethereum's current market cap. And from that point forward, Ethereum has to go on its full solar eclipse rally, full rally as well. So if you put Ethereum at whatever, 1.2 trillion, where Bitcoin is at right now, you just move one layer up. I don't think that's too stupid to think about, especially because this is the institutional run. So theoretically speaking, this is where the majority of the real money should have been added, or should get added, I should say. Nico says Solana 700. Won't go higher than 700. I think that's all fine, though, right? Let's be real here. Oh, no. My Solana only went from $12 to $700 in the span of 2 years. Oh, it didn't go to 1,000. I think Solana was like $12 or so last year, right? I don't remember the exact price, but it's already done a 10x this year. If it does another like 50x, if it does another like 5x or so, it's pretty crazy. Let's be real. It's pretty high for such a massive coin, especially if you've got some leverage. And I have all my positions leveraged always, but XRP ETF win. If only XRP was more exciting, my friends. But XRP has been one of the worst investments. However, it's been bad in comparison to other cryptos. It's not been a bad asset. If we're being realistic here, from the start of the year up to now, XRP is down. As a matter of fact, it's actually down now. Ooh. So before, when I used to look at it, XRP was always up, I'm going to say 20-30% from the start of the year. This time around, though, this is actually one of the first times where XRP is breaking below all the previous levels. This is where XRP gets scary, because we right now are back exactly to price where we were at a year ago. I'll make another video on XRP today. It's a long-term hold, my friend. Yes, like Swaggy says. But, you know, you got to also enjoy holding it. Because I've not bought XRP in a long time. I only have it on my ledger. And I will, let's be honest here, not buy any XRP for a long time. Why? 1 second, guys. One second. All right. Sorry. What was I saying? So for XRP, I've not been buying a lot, but I will probably buy a lot of XRP the moment that the market turns around. And that's because I do believe Ripple's got so much freaking money. And I do believe they also know if they pump that. Let's be real, right? Ripple, they're businessmen. They're not freaking stupid in the brain. I personally think they can definitely give that price a little boost, and they will probably do that. But they only want to do it in the right timing. I talked to many projects. Many of them, they don't want to move their money in to the market right now because it's like been down only for the last 3 months. But perhaps, and perhaps with XRP, they're also just waiting for the generational move to be made. And if we're looking back at it, I don't know how that happened, but let's go back. Looking back at it, they had some chance, I guess, to do it all the way back here in December when it went to 72 cents. But afterwards, there's not really been any sort of indication of a big move. And perhaps Ripple's also waiting for their announcements and their bigger news the moment they're completely out of the lawsuit. So I'm keeping that in the back of my head. Car Nerd says, I applied your DCA strategy on LAI. Let's see how it goes. Current average price to be 0.025. So the only negative side with that, my friend, I'm being realistic, right, is you don't want to do this too much on altcoins that are more seasonal. So with the layer AI in the name here, the probability of that working out is very high. But it's way riskier than with Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana, one of the big ones. Then again, if you're doing it right, it is a little bit safer because you usually get yourself bigger moves. And what I mean with that is, if we're looking at it, let's say we take AI, right? Right now, AI coins, many of them are up crazy percentages throughout the day. Very often with AI coins, it's that way. So if you're getting yourself a good juicy dip, you have the chance to just within a day be up like 25% or so. Here, this one is up 37%, 12% up, blah, 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 blah. So if you just get yourself on the right dip, you're good. The only problem is with Bitcoin, we all know it can't go down as much. Whereas with these coins, you can see some of them are down like 95% or so from the all-time high. And yeah, even if I look at my own layer AI, it's 80% down from its all-time high. It's a matter of, do you really believe it'll do that well early into the cycle, or do you only think it'll do well once conviction is back in? So that means when people get excited about the market again, and when you just start to see this, you know, this basically this parabolic move of things just going up and up and up. Because most of these coins, yes, you can make more money if you're buying the dip of the dip, but I tend to buy them as the market turns more towards these altcoins, so I have less risk. And that's because I'm also pretty comfortable holding just mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of my longer term holds, and just moving into crazy riskier altcoins as the market tells me to go for it. Then again, there's some exceptions. Phantom I bought the dip of, Core I bought the dip of, and a couple of meme coins I bought the dip of, and some of them have worked out nicely. So I'm not against it, but be careful what coin you're doing it with. Some of the big coins from 2017 that I lost to 2018 were all because I DCA'd into stupid coins going into bear market. And many coins, ladies and gentlemen, that you DCA into at the end of the bull market will go to zero. Absolute zero. And I'm talking about right now. Just, I started out with, I'm going to buy $200 worth of this crypto. And it ended up being, in today's prices, hundreds of thousands of dollars that I lost because I thought, I'll buy the dip a little bit more. I'll buy the dip a little bit more. And then all of a sudden the coin just goes to absolute zero. This didn't happen to me too much, but think about Luna, where GCR made $1 billion having that generational short. A lot of people also, like KSI, lost millions of dollars trying to buy the dip that just kept on dipping. If we have another couple examples, EOS was really good back in 2017, 18. No, I think it came up later. I think it came up in 2020, actually. I don't remember EOS. When was that pre-sale? Was it 2018? The biggest ICO, freaking $1 billion, something like that. Maybe it's 2018. I don't quite remember. But they also have gone from number 6. And I remember the day I put 0.4 Bitcoin into it. I remember it clearly. I think it was 0.4. Maybe it was 4 Bitcoin. I don't remember that part. I just remember the day. After that, it never went back up. Like, I put in, I was like, you know what? This is such an amazing dip. And I just never made a dime. I've never sold that either. It's like my spite tokens. I've got a lot of EOS, but it's worth nothing because whatever 4 Bitcoin or 0.4 or 4 Bitcoin was at the time is now absolutely nothing. And I'm talking about a dip buying. ADEPS is late 2017, yeah. This is a while back. Alpha says, what do you think about Link? 10x from here. I think Link and actually many of those Oracle-related coins have more potential than many of the other coins in the entire top. So Link, Pyth, I'd say are holds for everybody. And if you're not holding it, I think you're doing yourself a disservice because it just makes too much sense for those to keep doing well over time. Now, Link, from a fundamental perspective, is one of the absolute best performers because they're just doing a lot. If you're looking at their updates, it's massive. Pyth, newer, different, still huge though. But I'm also staking Pyth because there was supposed to be crazy airdrops. I didn't get any, I think. When I started, I think it was finished. But that was the idea behind it. Whereas with Chainlink, if you're holding it, I'm not sure if it's got a good APR. I think it's kind of wacky if they have one. But I do believe Chainlink's price will do well over time. Ian says, see, told you, Bitcoin going negative. I'm not sure if you mean negative funding rates or negative as in price. I think you mean negative as in price. But right now, theoretically speaking, I might agree on the argument that Bitcoin is actually quite positive. Maybe the dip really is in. And if this is the dip of the dip, then I'm the greatest alive. If this is where the price literally turns around, and I actually got to buy myself such a juicy buy-in again for the second time in a row. Because here, we caught that dip and we made videos about it. That was amazing. Some people said, oh, you're saying it too late. But the strategy was really simple. And I've been warning you guys for so long. Whenever Bitcoin goes under 60,000, I always buy. If this, again, right here, is the actual dip of the dip, no way, right? I can't believe it can be that easy. And that's sometimes where I think, you know what? Perhaps there's something wrong with my brain. Because I think a lot of you guys are having it too, where you're looking at these prices and thinking, it can't be that easy, right? There must be something wrong. I'm looking for that Bitcoin chart, though. Where was it at? I don't know which of those was the right Bitcoin chart. Was it? No, it's not this one. 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 Okay, never mind. Our Bitcoin chart is now lost forever. Ah, here we go. It's the top one. It's the top one. 𝗕𝗓𝗃, piece of garbage. Oh, so all those airdrops are not something I'm buying into because it's airdrops, right? If you're holding them because of the airdrop, though, I'm holding all of them for in case. But they're all such high fully diluted valuations. If you don't know how to check that, let me show you real quick. And by the way, ZK might do well, but it's just stupid in my opinion. So right here, you can see it's worth $3.5 billion in fully diluted value. Only a very small portion. In this case with 𝗕𝗓𝗃, it's actually not too bad, I guess because of community rewards, but 17.5% is out there. All those insiders are going to get so many tokens still. It's actually not too amazing. What's the other one? Layer 0. Let's quickly check that one out. You can see here also $3 billion. 25% only is out there. EtherFi. The only thing is I have so much EtherFi that I'm kind of biased, but I will be the first one to tell you that I wouldn't buy this. Only 11% is out there, mostly because it's also going to be multiple seasons of people getting these tokens. So no, airdrop coins, they're not really something I'm a big fan of. They might do well, but they're already in really high points. And even if they double or triple, which is possible, it's already very high where the risk reward is not that amazing in my opinion. Yeah. David says Link is also being developed in telco, world of Internet of Things, business strategies, so it's a good long-term hold in my opinion. I think Link is a fine long-term hold. Yep. Hendrik says, just did a DGen play and bought 25K worth of glamour. Hopefully I didn't just throw money into the trash. Man, you gotta live a little, right? Is it glamour or is it someone else? Let's see. GL. Oh, Moonbeam. When did you do it? That's interesting. 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗧, bro, your name. Don't expect me to say that right. Hopefully, or you have to spell out how you say it. 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗧 says, what's your thoughts on BRC20 sector, Orange Dex in particular? Orange Dex, I think they can go screw themselves. I'm not so sure, but I think that was like the worst investment I've ever made in my life. It's not true, but I think it's... Oh, wait a minute. Depends on which one you're talking about. Because I've bought into both of these. I'm pointing towards the screen. This bottom one, so the Orange DX, I really want to punch these guys in the face for messing me up so bad. I lost a lot of money on that. Orange was pretty good. They did well, and they're doing pretty good. So it depends on which one you mean. Out of the both of these are BRC20 projects. This one was shitty. This one was quite good. So if you mean the bottom one, maybe they're actually really nice, right? But my money is down like tremendously, so screw them. Screw their whole industry. Who was talking about that Moonbeam? Oh, Hendrix says 18 cents. It's up, but just a fun play. I mean, you're up. You're up pretty good, my friend. I mean, that's you're up like 10% then. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Damn. The comments are not too excited though. Damn, the people are not too happy. Oh. Yeah, it's not too big. Most coins are also out there. Oh no, that's not it. It doesn't have a max, I guess, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I don't hold any moon. Maybe I hold like $1,000, something like that. You know, forgot about it. But I don't really have too much of this. I don't know if I hold any. I don't think so. Maybe very minimal. Our coins are booming though. That's good. That's really, really nice. What about new projects like IO or Aether? In both of those, I hold unholy amounts of money. You don't want to know how much money I have in IO, but I still kind of wish I sold it at $6.50 because I didn't really do that, and I knew I should have, but I didn't wanna. But I do believe over time they could do okay, but I wouldn't necessarily. Let's be real here. I wouldn't necessarily buy it too much. I would mostly just bank on keeping it, perhaps, if I got it from an airdrop, or because I did, or if you get it from emission rewards eventually from using their app. And Aether, again, with all the nodes they sold, so many tens of millions of dollars, I don't know why anybody would buy the coin, but that's maybe just because I'm a little bit stupid and I don't know too much about Aether. If you were able to buy it at the start, sure, that's pretty good. Aether is in a really good spot still, one of the only ones to do it. But for the most part, what was interesting was the nodes and the emissions. It's a little bit less interesting to just buy it straight up. Even though I think it would do well, I think a lot of it is just like kind of keeping the price okay flat. It has potential to pop off, but mostly I just believe people should think about that if they got it for free, or they bought into it early, or they got it from distributions. If you're talking about buying it, those products are always a little bit of a harder buy than something that's not fully focused on nodes, for example. Kooky, I messed up. I accidentally did not send them money, so I missed out. Even though it would have been a pretty good investment, I think. One of the only ones that did well. And I missed it. Canker says, I think the meme season is over. I think the meme season is not over until the board is over. Hey, by the way, guys, this is like almost insulting. If you're watching this right now, we've had almost 1,000 people watching. We've only got 88 likes. If you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button right now. You've got nothing to lose, only things to win. What do you have to win? My gratitude. So make sure you press that button. So about, are you still big on Fetch AI? Medium. I think we'll have to see how it does as they transfer over into that new project. Proppy, don't know, don't hold any single dollar. AIs, I have good freaking bucks in AIs, but AI coins are not in the best moment right now. But let's see. Meme season is over. No, I don't think so. But I do believe we might have to wait a little bit for it to get exciting. Then again, you tell me, because 1, 2, 3, 4, out of the top 10 coin gainers, 4 of them are big memes. So, no, I don't think it's over. But, hey, maybe you think over something else. I will warn you guys, though, that we're not in the clear, all right? And I want you guys to acknowledge that we're not in the clear. We could have another leg downwards, and even though I feel like a freaking champion today, right? I want everybody to clap for me. It's what I want, because I was a freaking genius last night. If we go to like $30,000 overnight, I'm going to be screwed. Not because my positions can't hold up. I've got things solid, but just because I could have also sold right now. Anyway, guys, I think that was about it, because I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Hopefully, this is just where we got it shaken out, and right now, altcoin season starts. But if it wasn't, we shall see, I guess, huh? We shall see is the best thing I can tell you. I am going to keep you guys up to date over in the Telegram. So if you've not done it yet, make sure you join in with the link down below. And if you guys want to see another token, another update on videos, I will cover some meme coins very soon. If you guys want tutorials, whatever updates you want on my top altcoins, blah, 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 let me know in the comment section down below, or in Telegram or wherever, or tweet it to me. DM me on Twitter. It's fine. I read everything. Don't beg me for money, and I'll read what you're saying, because that's the majority of what people are doing on Twitter. If you're just writing something nice, I take a look at every single post, every single comment. Even on the YouTube, every single comment is read, so don't you worry. I even have a guy that particularly looks at every single comment to make sure I don't miss anything. If you know, you know. This has been here for years. But ladies and gentlemen, that's about it for today's stream. And yeah, hopefully I get you guys again with another one tomorrow, if something crazy happens, or if we get ourselves another trading update. If you guys want to trade also, where I'm trading over on is Bybit. You might want to check it out with the link down below, or over on Telegram. But yeah, that's about it.